Carlos Irwin Estévez, who would later become known to the world as Charlie Sheen, was born in 1965 in New York, entering a life already profoundly shaped by the prestige and complex demands of Hollywood royalty. He was the son of the revered actor and activist Martin Sheen, born Ramon Estévez, and artist Janet Templeton. Contrary to any narrative of financial hardship, a factual correction from the previous version, Sheen's childhood was defined not by poverty, but by an intense internal set of psychological and academic challenges that cast a long shadow over his life. From the moment of his birth, which was a near-fatal event requiring the swift intervention of a doctor who lent him his middle name, Irwin, Sheen's existence seemed destined for high-stakes drama. As he grew, he struggled profoundly with a lifelong stutter and a significant learning disability, often cited as dyslexia. These deeply personal impediments created an intense need for escapism and self-medication, which he would later admit fueled his addictive behaviors. Though he found an outlet in amateur filmmaking alongside his brother Emilio Estévez and future stars like Rob Lowe and Sean Penn, his official academic career was one of persistent and ultimately fatal failure. The culmination of this instability came when he was expelled from Santa Monica High School just weeks before graduation, a humiliating public failure that stood in stark contrast to his family's achievements. This moment became the definitive catalyst for his first great reinvention, the abandonment of his birth name Estévez for the stage name Sheen. This was a deliberate, almost ritualistic act, a scorched earth maneuver to slam the door on the personal and academic failures he felt the name Estévez symbolized, and to embrace a new persona defined solely by the potential for performance and success. Sheen's career ascent was initially marked by powerful, critically acclaimed dramatic roles in the 1980s, but his zenith of financial power and global recognition arrived with the sitcom 2.5 Men, 2003 to 2011. It was during this period of unprecedented success that his second marriage to actress Denise Richards in 2002 crumbled, revealing a complex web of codependence and conflict. A crucial, later revealed hidden control dynamic was the fact that Richards was the one who, with a shrewd eye for material, convinced a hesitant Sheen to accept the role of Charlie Harper, recognizing its inherent potential despite his reservations about television. The character, a direct caricature of Sheen's own womanizing lifestyle, was an immediate global smash, and the ensuing success made Sheen the highest-paid actor on television, commanding a staggering figure of nearly $2 million per episode. This vast, unimaginable wealth, however, did not secure his happiness. Instead, it fueled his self-destruction. Richards later claimed that the show's success and the accompanying fortune directly led to his severe relapse into substance abuse, shattering their life together. The brutal divorce proceedings commenced in 2006, leading to a decade-long public vitriol and legal warfare. The financial conflicts were staggering and protracted. The battle included Richards suing Sheen years later, alleging his failure to provide the promised financial support and housing for their children. She claimed he had squandered millions from the sale of his show Equity, money that was supposedly earmarked to settle his debts. This legal back and forth was conducted in the most public possible forum, with Sheen leveling vicious, unprintable insults against Richards on social media, turning a private separation into a grotesque, sustained public spectacle of mutual attrition that drained both their emotional and financial reserves for years. The wreckage of the divorce from Richards was quickly followed by Sheen's third marriage to real estate investor Brooke Mueller in 2008, a relationship that instantly elevated Sheen's personal chaos to a catastrophic new level. The union was defined by a terrifying dual addiction crisis, with both Sheen and Mueller struggling severely, culminating in the birth of their twin sons Bob and Max amid relentless instability. The public climax of their shared destruction occurred during a Christmas trip to Aspen in December 2009, resulting in his high-profile arrest for domestic violence against Mueller. He later pleaded guilty to a misdemeanor assault charge. However, the true global spectacle of their failure reached its zenith following their divorce filing and eventual finalization in 2011. This period was the prelude to Sheen's infamous drug-fueled public breakdown, where he was fired from 2.5 Men. The crisis unfolded in a manic flurry of television interviews, where he proudly boasted of his tiger blood, proclaimed his buy-winning philosophy, and declared himself a warlock with a superior constitution. This bizarre, self-aggrandizing behavior, which he later revealed was exacerbated by a combination of drug use and high doses of testosterone cream, became the defining narrative of his career collapse. The separation from Mueller not only dissolved his third marriage, but directly ignited the corporate warfare that saw him exit his most profitable job, cementing this turbulent relationship as the final domestic structure to buckle under the strain of his addiction. Charlie Sheen's career trajectory is an anomaly, marked by two distinct peaks: the serious dramatic actor and the comedic television titan. While the prompt implies a late career risky move like Broadway, Sheen's most significant achievement related to a genuine career shift was his transition from a film star to a television lead, securing his highest professional award in the process. His highest artistic acclaim remains rooted in his early work with Oliver Stone, specifically for his powerful, nuanced portrayal in Platoon, 1986, and the enduring financial thriller Wall Street, 1987, roles that instantly established his dramatic credibility. However, the riskiest yet most rewarding lateral career shift was his move to network television to replace Michael J. Fox on Spin City in 2000. For a leading film man of his stature, taking a recurring role in a network sitcom was considered a professional gamble, but it proved to be a masterstroke of adaptation. For his performance as Charlie Crawford, Sheen won the Golden Globe Award for Best Lead Actor in a Television Series, Comedy or Musical in 2002. This remains his most significant solo competitive award from a major body, a victory that validated his ability to anchor a hit series and directly paved the way for his record-breaking 2.5 Men contract, confirming that his enduring strength lay in the comedic demands of the small screen, rather than a belated return to serious stage or film work. Charlie Sheen's life outside of acting has been a relentless, high-profile spectacle of scandal and catastrophic financial mismanagement. His image as the Hollywood bad boy was earned through a public history of domestic disputes, his association with the infamous Hollywood Madam Heidi Fleiss, to whose services he admitted to spending over $50,000, and his 1998 drug overdose, which led to his father turning him over to the authorities for a probation violation. His public revelation of his HIV-positive status in 2015 sent a seismic shockwave through media and health organizations globally. Despite earning hundreds of millions, his fortune was virtually liquidated due to staggering legal expenses, massive child and spousal support payments, and extravagant drug and lifestyle spending. His attempt to self-syndicate the show Anger Management by taking a massive equity stake ultimately failed to generate the hundreds of millions he anticipated when its ratings proved too low for profitable syndication. Sheen's Goddess Collection, apparel and merchandise. Capitalizing directly on the massive media attention surrounding his 2011 meltdown, Sheen launched a line of apparel and merchandise under the Goddess banner. This was a clear attempt to monetize his personal brand as a product outside of film or TV roles. Sober living and real estate investment. Following his commitment to sobriety, Sheen, who had a long history of high-end real estate dealings, began to quietly invest capital into smaller, less publicized ventures in the sober living and addiction recovery facility space. While not a massive public corporation, this move represented a genuine and practical attempt to use his personal experience and remaining capital to engage in a non-entertainment business sector related to social and health services, offering a tangible product and service outside the Hollywood sphere. In a life defined by partners and personal crises, Sheen has not had to endure the public death of a spouse or long-term romantic partner. However, the emotional toll of his and his peers' shared disease culminated in a profound personal tragedy through association. The sudden passing of his friend and colleague Matthew Perry in 2023, Sheen and Perry shared an intensely private, crucial bond, having connected years earlier within a private support group setting, where they could openly discuss the unique isolation and struggle of battling addiction while being a globally recognized celebrity. Following Perry's death, Sheen expressed an overwhelming, palpable regret, publicly confessing that he had been meaning to call Perry in the weeks prior to his death, a simple act of reaching out that he never completed. This confession was more than a tribute. It was a deeply personal, anguish-filled articulation of a broken pact between two men who understood the constant mortal stakes of their shared disease. Sheen's powerful testimony underscored the devastating reality that in the world of addiction, every day of sobriety is a win, and every lost opportunity for connection carries the weight of a final emotional reckoning. Charlie Sheen's ultimate reinvention was a radical departure from the media spectacle of his past. It was not defined by the massive late-career album/tour the industry might have expected, but by the quiet, demanding, and age-defying triumph of sustained sobriety since 2017. This decision was the technical reason for his final career success. The most compelling symbol of this professional rehabilitation is his reconciliation and professional collaboration with Chuck Lorre, the very creator who famously fired him in 2011. A decade after their bitter public feud, the two reconnected and successfully launched the new television comedy Bookie in 2023-2024. The technical success of this collaboration lies in the fact that it required major studios and insurers to trust Sheen's stability again, a sign that his commitment to recovery was not just personal, but professional. The commercial success is not about a record-breaking paycheck, but the achievement of dependable employment and the restoration of key industry relationships. He proved he could move beyond the volatile demands of his tiger blood persona to deliver consistent, professional work, establishing his final comeback as a story of humility and stability rather than hyper-commercialized chaos. After the financial wreckage of his high-spending years, which forced the sale of his expansive Beverly Hills property portfolio, Charlie Sheen maintains a vastly different, more grounded lifestyle. Having been forced to liquidate his final Mulholland Estates mansion in 2020, he now resides in a rented, upscale home in the Malibu area of California. This shift to a quieter, more private residence reflects his commitment to maintaining his sobriety and personal stability, deliberately distancing himself from the high-profile, volatile environment that characterized his peak earnings era. Sheen is actively working in the television industry, notably co-starring in the successful sitcom Bookie, a powerful symbol of his professional return and his reconciliation with Chuck Lorre. Beyond his acting roles, his current work focuses heavily on activism through transparency. He has been candid and remorseful in public forums and in his recent memoir and documentary, aka Charlie Sheen, about the devastation caused by his addiction. His energy is now channeled into promoting a message of personal ownership, humility, and the possibility of a reset for those struggling with similar issues. Sheen's legacy is a towering, contradictory monument in the landscape of American celebrity. He will be remembered equally as the gifted dramatic actor of Platoon and Wall Street and the highest-paid sitcom star in television history. However, his most enduring and universal place in history is as the ultimate American anti-hero and cautionary tale of excess and self-destruction. His public meltdown established a new, chaotic template for viral celebrity. More profoundly, his public HIV diagnosis spurred the documented Charlie Sheen effect, a global spike in public awareness and demand for HIV testing, making his personal crisis a catalyst for an unplanned but critical public health contribution. His final story is that of a man who possessed immense talent, embraced absolute chaos, and ultimately achieved his final, quiet, and most important victory through the difficult, unglamorous work of sobriety and sustained redemption. And so, the saga of Charlie Sheen, Carlos Estévez, comes to a close, at least for this chapter. His story is not merely a celebrity headline. It is a profound American tragedy and a remarkable testament to the possibility of a hard-won reset. He stood on the precipice of every excess fame could offer, became the highest-paid man on television, and then, through a spectacular, self-created inferno, lost it all. Yet, in the quiet, rented comfort of his Malibu home, working soberly alongside the very producer who fired him, his story takes its most important turn. His legacy, though complex, is cemented in history, not just by his performance in Platoon or his viral rants, but by an unexpected act of public good. Here's a final, staggering fact from his tumultuous life. When Charlie Sheen disclosed his HIV-positive status in 2015, the media spectacle triggered what researchers later dubbed the Charlie Sheen effect. The sheer volume of his public admission led to a verifiable, massive global surge in online searches for HIV information, and, critically, a huge increase in demand for testing, an unplanned, monumental contribution to public health from the very man who embodied private chaos. He is the talented, prodigal son, a Golden Globe winner who fell from grace and had to fight his way back, not with tiger blood, but with sheer humility and hard work. If this deep dive into the life of Hollywood's ultimate anti-hero resonated with you, and if you want more stories that unearth the truth behind the stars, be sure to subscribe to American Spotlight, where we illuminate the shadows of celebrity. Until the next chapter unfolds.